This is News 4 San Antonio Today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
It is what we do. Good morning. Nonstop news starts right now. We are the only TV station in town commercial free until the top of the hour.
We have you covered this morning. Jeannette has just showed us what's going on right now with the weather.
Yeah, I want to check in though first with the traffic and see what's going on. It's been a bit of an issue, at least construction-wise, this morning along 410. We'll check in with David in just a second. 281 at 410. That exchange looks nice for this time of morning. 281 at Thousand Oaks. Folks coming into downtown San Antonio to get to work. Looks pretty good. Let's go into Sky 4. David Mendoza. Well, no, that's the weather camera. Do we have David? Ah, there he is. David Mendoza, high above. What's happening here?
This is that motorcycle accident. We have someone being transported right now. The positive about this is that he is alert and
Well, we're having some issues technically with David, and unfortunately, I don't know exactly where he is. It does look like first responders are loading someone into an EMS, so hopefully we'll get an update from David before 7 a.m. Live look outside right now with the TransGuide cameras. Everything else looks pretty good so far. Just be safe on your morning commute. Later today, Kelly Clarkson, who is the singing superstar and the host of her own weekday show here on News 4, will welcome heroic Kerrville bus drivers who collectively helped rescue hundreds of stranded campers, little girls, from that deadly July 4th flash flooding in the Texas Hill Country. It is a segment where Kelly will hear their emotional accounts of that day.
Joining us now to talk more about what's going to happen on the show is Kerrville ISD Superintendent Dr. Brent Ringo. Good morning, Dr. Ringo, and thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate that.
Good morning to you, and thank you for having me on the show this morning.
Doc, for folks who don't know, just a reminder, you and your staff got into school buses and drove into the flooded areas to get many, hundreds really, of those campers out of those areas where seemingly they couldn't get out.
Yes, we received a call that evening, July 4th, and we were honored and humbled to get that call to help support our camps. And we did an all-call out for our drivers, our coaches, anybody on our team that has a bus license. And within about 15 minutes, we had about 16 buses rolling to the camps through the devastation. Just scenes you could not believe. I mean, it's scenic country here in the Hill Country, and just beautiful, picturesque. And that day of tragedy, and our team was able to mobilize and safely transport 900 campers out that evening and that Saturday morning on July 4th and July 5th.
What was the mood like with the girls?
Very somber. I can say the camps were very organized, even with all the tragedy and unprecedented flooding. But as we were loading those girls, our drivers are more than just drivers. They were true heroes that day, providing the first sense of normalcy for those girls and comfort, and let them know we're going to get them back to their families. But a very, very somber atmosphere, sad. But just, again, our drivers really stepped up to provide that sense of comfort and love and normalcy for the first time that day on July 4th.
Dr. Ringo, this was obviously a national story. How surprised and how pleased were you when you got the call from the Kelly Clarkson show saying that she wanted to recognize your school district and you and the bus drivers? Very
surprised. Getting that call just to say, hey, we know there's been a lot of tragedy this summer. It's been a heart-wrenching summer. We've been saying for the 25-26 school year, this is going to be the best year yet. And so to get that call and to honor our drivers, our teachers and coaches, our high school principal, our assistant superintendent that showed up that day, and just tell some positive stories and some times of tragedy, we were just very excited. 14 members from our team went up to the Kelly Clarkson show and were able to tell some very heart-wrenching stories from July 4th and July 5th. And so just honored to be able to do that in a time of tragedy.
Doc, I know there's some things that you kind of want to keep close to the vest so that folks watch the show later today, but there are some surprises, yes, in store for viewers?
Yes, sir. There are quite a few surprises. I believe we're half the show today. Margot Robbie, Colin Farrell are also on that episode.
Wow.
And when we showed up and they told us we're half that episode and have more airtime than Colin and Margot, very surprised at that too.
Yes.
But there are some great surprises for our drivers and our team members that showed up that day. And we could not be more honored just to be able to support our community in a time of tragedy and a time of need.
Sir, I want to ask you one last thing, and you said this to me when we were standing there on the banks of the river a month or 6 weeks ago when we were there. I think we've said it 10 times on the air since, but I said the last question, and it was kind of a throwaway question, quite honestly. Hey, what do you want folks to know as you go forward? And your answer has stuck with me and our staff ever since, and that was, don't ever forget. Like, don't forget us. For folks who didn't hear that day, can you expound on that and just kind of ask, I'll ask again, what do you need from us?
Yeah, our classrooms are more than classrooms. They're a place of resiliency and strength for our community. And, we have about 75 families within our school district that were impacted this summer, either through loss of a family member or loss of home. And so as time goes on, that healing time, the grief, it is going to take years. And so as time passes, don't forget about us. Please reach out. We have our Kerrville Public School Foundation that supports our teachers directly in our classrooms and our students. And so if you feel the urge, please do support us, because it's going to be years of healing and years of support for our students and our teachers and our community.
Dr. Brent Ringo, the Kerrville superintendent there. Sir, thank you so much. We are always honored to talk to you. Please tell all your students and staff that we are always keeping them in our prayers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for having me this morning.
Always.
Emma Allen at the live desk. This morning, the Department of Education is preparing for that possible government shutdown. On Sunday, Education Department officials announced its contingency plan if lawmakers fail to pass a spending bill by Tuesday. It says nearly 1,500 of its 1,700 employees would be laid off. That includes most of the staff at the Office of Federal Student Aid. Some essential employees would stay on to keep those grants and loans moving, but the agency, however, would stop issuing new grants and reviewing civil rights complaints. If the shutdown lasts longer than a week, the department says it would have to bring back some workers to work on a partial or rotating basis. That is the latest from the live desk.
All right, Emma, thank you. 6:48 right now. Huge development in one of Austin's most notorious cold cases. A new suspect has been ID'd now in the yogurt shop murders.
This has been more than 30 years in the making. News 4 San Antonio's Tawny Davis is live right now with how police were able to make the connection and what questions still remain. Good morning, Tawny.
Good morning. So for years, the unsolved killing of 4 teenagers at an Austin yogurt shop has left or has haunted investigators in the Texas capital. As you said, this happened over 30 years ago. So new DNA evidence has identified a new suspect. So in 1991, the teens were bound, gagged, and shot before the yogurt shop was burned down. 2 men were initially charged and convicted, only to have DNA evidence exonerate them. The new DNA evidence now points to Robert Brashers as the killer. He lived in Arkansas, but his DNA has been connected to other major crimes across the country. He died in 1999 when he shot himself during an hours-long standoff with police at a motel in Missouri. Following his death, police were able to use advanced DNA analysis to connect him to a string of unsolved killings. This includes a 1990 murder in South Carolina, the murder of a woman and her daughter in Missouri in 1998, and the rape of a 14-year-old in Memphis in 1997, according to the Associated Press. So while some are feeling a sense of relief that Brashers has been named, they still have some questions.
It's a good thing, finally. At least they know at least they know who did it. But I wish they'd known who did it a long, long time ago.
I think everyone's very curious about who was this person and how did they get away with this for so long.
In interviews with local stations, Brasher's daughter expressed surprise and sorrow after learning her father was linked to the deaths. She says she apologizes to every family her father hurt and is glad that they are getting some answers. So officials are expected to host a news conference today to explain all this new evidence in the case, and we will continue to follow this and update you on air and online. For now, reporting live, I'm Tawny Davis. Back to you.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette.
Can we go back to Kerrville real quick? How cool was that? Kelly Clarkson is having them on and doing that and recognizing some real heroes, obviously in a tragedy. But on a lighter note, Dr. Ringo, Colin Farrell.
Margot Robbie.
And Margot Robbie, yeah, for sure. My man is on the dock. I like him.
Yes. I think we're cheering for Ringo there.
Yeah, yes.
Hey, weather-wise, a lot of people are cheering about the weather this morning because it feels so nice.
It Not bad.
If you missed it Friday morning or this weekend, then here we are starting off this Monday morning with pretty coolish temperatures. Many spots are in the 60s. However, it's in the 50s in parts of the hill country. Out west along the Rio Grande, that's where we're seeing the 70s. And the cool mornings will stick around this week. The afternoons, though, will get quite hot. For the rest of the week, lows here will be in the 60s, generally upper 60s, and then it gets warmer over the weekend. Lows by then in the 70s. I do have a 10% rain chance today, but that's mostly west of I-35. Could see a few sprinkles there from the cloud cover that's covering much of the western zone. Here is your Monday forecast for the other three zones. So the western zone, mostly cloudy, 86 degrees. Temperatures there starting off in the upper 60s to low 70s and then topping out in the mid to upper 80s. The hill country is the zone that will be the coolest this morning. That's where I'm seeing the 50s and then warming up to the mid 80s with increasing clouds. The eastern zone, on the other hand, will be the warmest in the low 90s. Ozone Action Day, we do have an air quality alert today because of the high levels of ozone pollution down to the surface. So in these counties, you want to limit time outside this afternoon and evening. Live look outside, Raul Beat Rodriguez weather camera. Sunrise at 7:26. It is a comfortable 65 degrees in San Antonio with just a few scattered clouds. There is an upper level disturbance that's sitting across the desert southwest, and out ahead of that there is a plume of moisture that's coming up, hence why the cloud cover is covering anywhere from the Valverde County area towards far west Texas. And from those clouds there is rain coming down across West Texas, mostly just west of the Big Bend region. As that upper low moves off towards the east and stays north of the state, we'll see some of the clouds getting closer to I-35. There is rain this morning in the Pacific Northwest and also rain that's moving towards the southeast coast. That is associated with Tropical Storm Imelda, which, by the way, will stay offshore from the U.S., and Hurricane Humberto will also stay away from the U.S. We have this upper level ridge that's currently sitting off the coast of Texas, but that's going to be building farther to the west, setting up just west of Texas for the rest of the week, and that's what's going to bring in some hotter air. We'll see highs climbing close to the mid-90s on Thursday. Then by about October 8th, 9th, it looks like a front will be moving towards the south central plains. That may just stay off towards the north, but we'll see what happens because that could change. Enjoy this morning. We'll have the 60s until 8, and then this afternoon we'll climb to the upper 80s near 90 degrees. Lows will stay in the 60s with afternoon highs in the low to mid 90s. Thursday, a high closer to 94.
Jeannette, thank you. Let's take a real quick peek of the road, see what we have along TransGuide right now. 21 at St. Mary's, in and out of downtown looks okay. 90 at Couples, starting to get a little bit more volume out there. Everything looks decent so far, though. We will have a good morning commute. David Mendoza reports everything is fine from Sky 4.
A Halloween display in Houston is going viral for its controversial statements on immigration. This is the display in question. Mark Rodriguez is the one who set this up. He says the display is how he's choosing to take a stand on immigration enforcement across the country.
This is, my little political statement. Our community lives in fear right now. The schools, people are dropping the enrollment in the schools. The restaurants are low, the community, everybody's scared right now. I like practicing our First Amendment rights.
Rodriguez says this isn't the first time he's done controversial displays. He's made political statements like this for more than 20 years.
It's about 5 minutes now before 7 a.m. One final look at the morning headlines.
The latest now on the shooting at the Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino in Eagle Pass. 34-year-old Kieran Jones, a former National Guard member, faces 2 counts of capital murder and 5 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He's being held in Maverick County.
At least 4 people are dead, 8 others injured after a man opened fire inside of a Mormon church in Michigan. Police say 40-year-old Thomas Sanford rammed a vehicle through the front of a church during a service and then started shooting and then later set a fire inside that building.
President Trump is expected to meet with the top 4 congressional leaders at the White House later today. A deal must be reached by tomorrow. If not, many federal workers like TSA agents would come to work without pay. The president has said that a shutdown is possible.
And finally, it is National Coffee Day. Most folks can't start their day without a cup. They love the smell, the boost, the taste, and honestly, they love the habit. By the way, Krispy Kreme is offering all guests a free medium coffee, hot or iced, and a free donut of your choice with no purchase necessary. So just show up, and they'll give you a cup of coffee and a donut.
Are you going to go today?
Probably not, no.
Well, because there's not a Krispy Kreme near us.
Well, for a free donut, I might drive a little ways. I'm just not going today.
I don't think there's one anywhere near us right here at the station. But, however, I do like Krispy Kreme donuts.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah,
the girls, that's their favorite.
They are sweet.
Mm-hmm. And they've got cute little fall ones now because of,
is that right?
Yeah, it's fall.
All right. Well, get out there and get your cup of coffee and a donut as well.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. We'll see you at noon today.
Say it every morning. Today is a gift.